The second tool that we will use to make rough lumber S4S is the surface planer. The surface planer sits in the back of our shop and is the machine that we use to make flat faces and uniform thickness in lumber. Let's go over some basic components. First, the in-feed and out-feed tables. The in-feed table is located in the front of the machine. The machine has what's called an in-feed roller that will take the board from you, run it across the cutter knives, and hand it to you on the other side. The other side, as shown here, is the out-feed table. This entire operation is mechanical. Your hands should be nowhere near the openings of the machine on the in-feed or the out-feed tables. Now let's talk about the adjustment wheel and the ruler. This is what you will use to set up the machine to properly mill your material. The adjustment wheel, the ruler, red in color, and the on-off power button all sit on the right-hand side of the machine. The ruler on this machine is divided into eighths, and remember, the on-off power button, green starts the machine and red turns it off. Now let's talk a little bit about what is and what is not appropriate material to mill in the surface planer. First, never attempt to mill plywood on the surface planer. Plywood already has two flat faces. It also has a very thin veneer on the outside that'll just get destroyed if you attempt to run it through this machine. Make sure that the material that you are preparing to mill is at least 13 to 14 inches in length. The distance between the in-feed and out-feed rollers is 12 inches. So these rollers should have no trouble grabbing the board from you and handing it to you on the other side. Let's start talking about how you set this tool up before you mill your material. First, measure the thickness of your lumber. If you are milling multiple pieces, find the thickest part of the thickest board and remember that number. Next, let's set the in-feed table height. Turn the adjustment wheel until the red ruler behind the wheel shows the measurement that you took off of your board. For example, if the thickest part of your board was 1 inch, then you should turn the adjustment wheel until the red ruler indicator says 1 inch. Let's now watch the setup and a milling process with this video. The operator is planning on making 2 flat faces in the surface planer. Step 1, he is going to measure the thickest part of his material. In this case, the board's thickness is 1 inch. Now that we have the measurement of the thickness part of our board, let's move on to step 2. Looking at the red ruler, the operator is going to turn the adjustment wheel until it reads the thickness of his material, or in this case 1 inch, minus 1/2 to 1 full turn. This raises the in-feed table height so that your board's face will get milled by the cutter head. Turn the machine on, hand the board to the machine, and the in-feed roller will grab the board from you, pull it through the cutter head, milling your material's face, and the out-feed roller will hand it to you on the other side. Make sure at no time in this process your hands are anywhere near the opening of the in-feed or the out-feed side of the machine. The last step is when you are milling material, make sure that you flatten both faces of your board so that you create a uniform thickness, or that your board is the same thickness down its entire length.